At least Kevin Spacey wasn't in it. Hey, I'm Amy and welcome back. Today I'm talking about All the Money in the World, which came out a couple days ago, but I've been super lazy this vacation holiday break and I haven't seen any of the movies I wanted to see that I wanted to do videos on earlier in the week, so I'm doing them all a week later. But please forgive me because they're going to be some pretty fun and interesting videos. I hope so, because I haven't seen the movies that I'm doing videos on yet. But I have seen All the Money in the World, the new Ridley Scott movie, where he spent, I think, the last month, like literally the month before this movie came out, reshooting a bunch of scenes and replacing a character with another actor. That is very fun and it's very interesting, and I really am interested in seeing how they did it, which, if you did not know, Kevin Spacey was accused of sexual assault and got fired from House of Cards and a whole bunch of other stuff. So he was in this movie as not the title character, but pretty much like the main character, J. Paul Getty's. And because of the assault accusations, Ridley Scott had to go through and replace him with a new actor, and they replaced him with Christopher Plummer, who, in my opinion, honest opinion, they should have gone with Christopher Plummer in the first place. I feel like this role, J. Paul Getty's, was made for Christopher Plummer. And honestly, before I really get into more of my review, I had only seen the Kevin Spacey trailers. I did not watch any of the Christopher Plummer trailers, which I had only seen the Kevin Spacey trailers months and months and months ago. So I had only seen those trailers once, and I really honestly didn't really connect them with any of the advertisements coming out that I'd seen around town, and I didn't connect that it was the same movie with that they were replacing Kevin Spacey in, so I went in this kind of blind. I also have not watched any of the videos that show how Ridley Scott replaced Kevin Spacey with Christopher Plummer. I wanted to see the movie before I watched that because I didn't want anything to be, one, spoiled, and two, I didn't want the magic to be taken away. But saying that, there was one scene in particular that really just threw me off. The lighting was completely different on Christopher Plummer, and you can tell that he was just basically shot on a green or blue screen and keyed in to this specific scene over top where Kevin Spacey was. Like, it just threw me off. That whole scene just threw me off. But it wasn't in any other scenes, pretty much. I got very distracted looking for that, and I think that's the only reason I really had a hard time with this movie. I really did enjoy the movie, though. The movie is very fun. It's very interesting. It's interestingly paced, I will say. It's not like a super fast-paced movie, but it's also not very slowly paced. It's not too slow or sluggish. It's got a very nice moderate pace, which makes it feel like a Ridley Scott film, I guess, which is something else about this movie. I did not think it felt like a Ridley Scott film, except for the kind of, I don't know, the mystery, tenseness of it, which I mean, I really associate Ridley Scott with, like, very, like, sci-fi movies, like Alien, obviously. Like, most of this just didn't feel like any of his movies that I had seen. And I, for some reason, can't think of any other movies that he's done off the top of my head besides Alien. But it just didn't feel, oh, Blade Runner, I guess, is another Ridley Scott movie. But again, it's another sci-fi, crime, drama, tension, thriller kind of thing. And that is really, the crime thriller is really the only thing that this shares in common with the rest of Ridley Scott's movies. Like the thriller with Alien and Blade Runner as the crime thriller, and then the crime thriller with Blade Runner. But other than that, it just didn't feel like a Ridley Scott film, which is okay, I guess. I think it's kind of cool if you can't really tell an auteur's film is their film, but at the end, towards the end, it kind of felt like a Scorsese film to me. I mean, Scorsese is my favorite director of all time. Taxi Driver is my absolute favorite movie. Well, one of my favorite movies. Goodfellas is actually one of my favorite movies of all time. Another Scorsese movie. But at the end of All the Money in the World, it really felt like I was watching a Scorsese biopic. Because it's what Scorsese does. He does gangster biopics, crime, that kind of thing. And that's what it really felt like to me towards the end. Going back to Christopher Plummer, though, like I said, I feel like this role very much suited him, and I really, really, really enjoyed seeing him in this role, and I wish that they had put him in this role to begin with. He was so great. He really had that, like, Scrooge kind of feel to him. And maybe that's just because a couple weeks ago I saw The Man Who Invented Christmas, which I feel like maybe the reason I thought that Christopher Plummer did a really great job in this role, because he had that Scrooge kind of feel to him, was because he had just done The Man Who Invented Christmas and he played Scrooge in that movie. And other actors in this movie, Michelle Williams, she was pretty good. The first scene she was in, she felt very stiff and very weird, and it didn't feel like a Michelle Williams role at all. It felt like she did not know what she was doing. But after that one scene, she kind of loosened up a little bit and kind of became the Michelle Williams that I know. Not personally. I don't know Michelle Williams. That'd be really awesome if I did. But she became like the Michelle Williams I've seen in movies and became such a great actress. And you could really feel the mother searching for her son in her. Mark Wahlberg, on the other hand, I mean, I feel like he's just playing Mark Wahlberg without the Transformers or the like copness action. Well, I guess he technically was, I mean, this is kind of a spoiler. Spoiler warning, he is like an ex-FBI agent who works for Getty's. I don't really understand. They don't really explain that, I don't think, or maybe I was just lost in translation or I just missed something. They don't really explain Mark Wahlberg's character a whole lot. He works for Getty's and he used to be like a secret agent kind of thing. I don't know, Michelle Williams' character kind of asks him, plays with him about that for something, but they don't really go deep into his character. But it just feels like Mark Wahlberg's playing a Mark Wahlberg role. He just doesn't have the Transformers or the traditional cop stuff that he usually has in his movies. That being said, I do love me a good Marky Mark movie. I love Marky Mark. I do love me some Mark Wahlberg. And the kid who plays little Paul Getty's, I mean, he's not little, he's like a 16, 17-year-old boy, but the kid who plays him is really good. I forget his name. Hold on just a second. I just gotta Google him. Hey, Google. Hey, Google. Who is the cast of All the Money in the World? Charlie Plummer. I'm pretty sure it's Charlie Plummer. Took us a while, but we got there. I'm pretty sure Charlie Plummer plays little Paul Getty's, but either way, if it's not him, he's really great. He just plays this like hostage scared kid, but he's also very smart, very thinking on his feet, very intuitive, ingenuitive, and I don't know what word I'm searching for there, but kind of like he has a lot of ingenuity, I guess, getting himself or trying to get himself out of there at certain points. He strikes this really interesting friendship with one of his kidnappers, which that is kind of a spoiler, but this is a based on real life kind of situation. Speaking of that, I had heard the name Getty, JP Getty's, all of that kind of stuff, only because I drive past the Getty Center to work every day. I didn't realize this story and all the stuff that went with it was the same Getty as the Getty Center. But it was such an interesting story, and if you know me, and I've talked about this on the channel before, I really love biopics or based on real life movies. So kind of seeing something that I know in real life kind of portrayed outright in a movie, or like, because they actually talk about the Getty Center for a little bit briefly in the movie and in the like pre-credits kind of title cards that say what happened to the family after so many years. Like I said before, liked this movie a whole lot, although I did get distracted watching for where they placed Christopher Plummer in to any specific parts that he's in. To be honest, he wasn't in this as much as I thought he would be, being as he was in the trailer a whole bunch. I don't think that made sense, but I thought he would be in this more. Spoiler alert, he's really not, but that's fine because it's really not a story about Getty. It's a story about the mom trying to find her son who was kidnapped, and kind of the son's story of being kidnapped and trying to escape, and the mom getting the money and her fight with Getty. So it's kind of, he's a secondary character to the mom, played by Michelle Williams, and the son, played by Charlie Plummer. So overall, the score I would give this would be a Redbox. I will probably add this to my collection because I love a good biopic, but if I was being very objective about this, I would definitely probably only purchase this as a 1 or 2 night Redbox rental, just to kind of watch with friends, eat some pizza, hang out, and have a movie night. It's a really fun movie. It's a really intense and suspenseful movie as well. And I know I did a favorite movies of 2017 video already on Tuesday. This is probably not one I would add to my absolute favorites of the entire year, but it is up there. It is a really good movie, and if you have time to go see it before it leaves theaters, I would definitely check it out because it probably looks way better on the big screen than it does on just your TV at home. But that is all I have for you guys today for All the Money in the World. What are your thoughts on this movie? Are you intrigued kind of how Ridley Scott added Christopher Plummer in after all of the Kevin Spacey drama? Let me know your thoughts about the movie and all of that fun stuff in the comments down below. And let me know who you are as well, because I appreciate you, whoever you are. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, leave a like. If you are new here, subscribe. I'm messing up my outro. I haven't done this in a while, I feel like. And I hope you guys join me because I love talking about movies, TV shows, nerdy, fun movie stuff with you guys, having a conversation with you. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye!